When I entered Tafaria Castle and Center for the Arts, what struck me the most was art. Art here, art there, art everywhere. And the design here is out of this world. It is a getaway comparable to none in Kenya. The founder of this facility, George Tafaria, welcomes me on a nice sunny morning.
Yeah. Valentine bananas.
Yeah, this is the Valentine month.
I quickly learned that this was where George grew up, and he built the castle as a way of transforming his rural neighborhood, following his childhood dream, hence the Tafaria.
And once upon a dream, what does this mean?
Yeah, once upon a dream, and actually I realized there is a very important part of it that is missing here, the three dots, and I'll tell you why. So the once upon a dream is a founding motto, because remember the whole Tafaria project was purely driven by the need to transform this village where I grew up. And the dream started in childhood when I was going to school here in primary school and all that. That's when I started desiring to see this place, get social infrastructure like roads, water, electricity, social prestige even, because, lots of people growing up here, nobody wanted to, we all wanted to grow up and leave, disappear out of here. So it goes back to that childhood dream of desiring to see this place change. So when the time came, and it turns out that I am going to be an active participant in bringing about that change. We decided now to coin this
once
motto.
Upon a dream. It just says the dream didn't begin yesterday.
No, it
began in your primary school days. Okay.
And
wow.
the whole project sits on that dream.
Tafaria is located next to the Aberdares Ranges at the intersection of Laikipia, Nyeri and Nyandarua counties along Nyeri-Nyahururu Road.
So over there we have the conference center.
That's the conference center?
Yeah, it has 3 rooms. It has a round table. I don't know that you're familiar with the concept of the round table, the 12 Knights of the Round Table, King Arthur. So that is what that represents. And you have another one called the Horseshoe. Then we have another one called the think tank, born out of those military history where they would put one tank aside from the rest for strategizing. Then you have the country lodge down there. We have about 80 rooms.
80 rooms,
and, quite spacious. You can take up to 4 beds, some of them.
Okay.
Then some are quite cozy with fireplaces because you're high altitude. Sometimes you need to keep people warm.
Yeah, then the swimming pool here.
We have the swimming pool there. And just next to it, you have the outdoor gym.
George explains that as soon as the castle was established and opened to the public in 2012, they realized they had transformed the neighborhood physically, bringing with it improved social infrastructure such as roads, water and electricity, part of his childhood vision. After this initial transformation, they decided to continue the journey, choosing the arts as their primary tool for impact.
The art serves 3 purposes in human life. One is providing efficiency, providing convenience, and providing aesthetics. And aesthetics are the ones that create emotional connections, the things that we own and the things that we do. You realize, of course, the government has introduced the arts in the curriculum and through CBC and all that, but there's still a huge gap there as to what are the arts for. So Tafaria endeavors to actually showcase and bring that connection with people as to what the arts are for. And that's why we say that the arts is the main actor in all human endeavors, and all other sectors are supporting casts. And the Tafaria Foundation was formed back in 2013 to advance, to support the arts, to drive social and economic prosperity. Small family foundation, and its sole mandate is to support the arts. First, the provision of the facilities I talked about, through the provision of supporting the art residencies. Is the one that supports the art residencies for all those artists who come here, be they local or international, to create linkages with those artists and scientists and researchers with the local community for the purposes of skills transfer, for the purposes of entrenching the arts as a tool for social and economic prosperity. And this is why, when you look at the three basic human needs, for instance, food, shelter, and clothing, if you remove the arts from shelter, we go back to the caves. If you remove the arts from food, we go back to eating wild berries and such rudimentary menu. You remove the arts from clothing and we'll be wearing twigs and animal skin and so forth. So the arts has been such a powerful catalyst in not only midwifing civilization, but also creating the economic activities that we see today.
Tafaria is a hotspot for artists and art lovers, schools, corporate retreats, and those seeking offbeat experience to enrich their minds.
We realize that schools are lacking STEM kits or teaching aids, and when you bring the arts, you bring tech, you're able to then produce such kits that can be used for effective teaching to enhance comprehension and all those other things that we desire. We're also collaborating with academic institutions, like for instance the fashion design studio, so there so that we give them a runway upon which they can then build their portfolio before they go out into the wider job market.
As the project expanded over the years, Tafaria collaborated with the National Museums of Kenya to establish an evolution science museum, a one-of-a-kind facility that is a must-visit for learners and adults alike.
Symbolic installation here because it was the first animal to be on land. So that's why the
millipede was the first animal to be on land.
Yes, according to
I'm learning quite a lot. I didn't know about this.
That's the oldest fossil that is discovered on land. So it is now what that was used by the artists. Again, remember what I told you, that we are using art here to simplify science. We take them through this section that showcases the evidence of human existence. The remains of human existence are conserved through the volcanic activities. And then we end up with this kind of a situation where those remains are buried in volcanic ash and so forth. So these are mock archaeological sites where you can dig, and students do. So once you dig, you discover a fossil, and when you discover that, you bring it to this lab, which again is mimicked, so that learners and those who are interested in this kind of thing can understand how then scientists are able to know how old the fossil is through techniques such as carbon dating. So this is a lab where you sit and do all that once you have discovered it there. So you can get a human guide like me, or you can just grab an audio guide.
That's what we see quite often in the Western world.
Join us if they have a common ancestry with us.
One of the places that Tafaria holds very dear is its 400-seater amphitheater, which was for a long time an open-air Roman-style arena. This amphitheater was where the dream began to take shape as a community information center. Today, it serves as the Performing Arts Center and a venue for meetings and events.
And there are two women in this place that are very special to me, one of which is my late mom over there. She's the one who really was overseeing this whole thing in the initial stages.
She's the one who was overseeing the construction.
Yeah. Together with my wife over there, that's why these two women.
Two great women here.
Yes.
Well done.
For the past 11 years, Tafaria has been offering fully sponsored art residencies for both local and international artists. This program has recently expanded to include researchers and scientists. The complex houses a range of art studios, including fine art, fashion design, pottery, and software design. Artists from around the world use these spaces to create their best work and showcase their creations in Tafaria's galleries. During my visit, I had the pleasure of meeting Joy Letitia, a fashion designer who has benefited from the facilities here to advance her creativity.
Tafaria has helped me to grow as a designer, one, interacting with other artists, where it broadens my spectrum with other forms of art and how can I incorporate the same art in my designing. What inspires my collection is the need to solve problems within people and the community around. For example, my latest project is on the body dysmorphia disorder, where people have insecurities, but to some it gets to a larger extent. So what inspires my designs is to ensure people are comfortable in what they're wearing so that they can as well be confident when they're out there. I do incorporate sustainability. For example, the design that is at the back, we are having the use of denim, and there's that was a seat cover from my latest project. I did that as an incorporation of how can we describe this body dysmorphia in terms of fabric in simple terms.
Wanjiku Nderitu, an interior designer and founder of Art Sasa, also shares her experience.
I came to know of Tafaria through an art exchange program. I had come here with a group, and after we finished our residency, I remained behind because I really loved the versatile nature of the community here. I have been able to meet a lot of artists, and we've been able to collaborate on things, and I've also broadened my mind in terms of knowing more about art. So we create bespoke art pieces, like we visit somebody's home or institution, and then we look at the interiors and the furniture, and then we create pieces that go well with that space. In my artwork, I use recycled materials, especially when doing relief sculptures, because I want to help the community or people understand that not everything they consider waste is waste. It can be recreated and become something new. The most important is Tafaria has given me a platform where I can be able to execute ideas, and they have enabled me to execute these ideas in a more scalable form of way.
Tafaria has also collaborated with professionals in the tech world. Felix Mokua is the founder of Big Bold Red Advertising Agency.
Our services range from product design and development, digital marketing, as well as creative services. That's what we do. We actually worked on Citizen Digital, and we are also proud of the work we did with View Sasa. So those are part of the solutions that we have developed in the media industry. So right now, we are here on a 2-week work camp, working on a client project. So stepping away from our usual office setup and coming all the way to Tafaria Castle Center for the Arts allows us to all sit in one space, collaborate better against a backdrop of that serene environment that Tafaria offers. And that allows us now basically to deeply focus and deliver on the timelines and the mandate that we came here to do. As you can see, there are other artists and other teams at Tafaria. Allows us also to, in our free time, to just also get inspiration from each other, and then see how then can we infuse that into our day-to-day operations.
As I told you earlier, here at Tafaria there is so much art. Now you may be wondering, what is this ahead of me? This is known as Hand of Paradise. It marked the end of the use of plastics here in 2018. At Tafaria you will not find any plastics, and this is in the name of conserving the environment. This was designed by a Kenyan artist known as Kevin Odor, and the message here, just to summarize, it is that in this way the Hand of Paradise is metaphorically meant to heal the environment and create a paradise for humanity, just as nature intended.
Meanwhile, who do we have here? I came to learn that Tafaria has two very special horses, Malaika and Taji, the only of their kind in Kenya, bred specifically for drawing carriages.
to appreciate that there are a lot of sayings out of horses. You know, like they you tell people, focus, you have to wear blinkers. This is what blinkers are, if you didn't know. All right? What it does, you see, it hides the view, the side views. So the horse stays very focused.
Focused
It
ahead.
gets a narrower, view.
And off I went for a rare royal treat. Wow, and see how art is blending with nature here. And one gets a feeling of friendship and closeness and emotional connection with trees. You can get to know the name and uses of every plant here through QR codes. And the trees, through the QR codes, will be talking to you.
Alistamon Melaleuca salicina. My grandmother gave me this name because of the lovely spikes of flowers that blossom at the ends of my many branches. I really, really love my rocks as they turn red most of the year. But most of the other times, I am chilling with the green rocks. When I am all grown up, I will be 15 feet tall. Can you smell me? I am very aromatic. And guess what? I am a very important medical plant. I'm used in remedies for treatment like diarrhea, dysentery, and rheumatism. I am also used as a water accent for anti-coughs, for anti-bronchitis, and insecticide in folk medicine. Dear human, I'm very important and valuable. So keep me safe and I will serve you right.
One of the most unique things about Tafaria is the level of innovation happening here. For instance, Tafaria has developed its own taxonomy in its conservation efforts and to sensitize people about nature and the need for conservation. The arts have been significantly deployed to create an emotional connection between humans and trees. Through this innovation, Tafaria established Kenya's only display herbarium.
So welcome to, this is the only display herbarium in Kenya.
Thank you.
Karibu.
Within this African-shaped hut, the Tafaria taxonomy comes alive through the 10 clans of the jungle. It is a convergence of art and science, bringing forth a profound initiative that has now expanded beyond conservation into management frameworks. This includes the Tafaria Taxonomy of Leadership, a nature-inspired program used to teach leadership, teamwork, and life skills, an innovative and powerful way to drive environmental stewardship and leadership development.
And we fitted all those plants, all those trees, all those shrubs, all those herbs into those 10 clans that we created, all right? So for ease of understanding. For instance, we have a clan there called the socialite. So all the ones that are climbers and like being all over other plants belong to that clan called the socialite. Another example is the diehards clan. You know those plants that never say die, rain or shine, they're evergreen, all right?
Like the cactus.
Like the cactus, for instance. So they belong to that clan called the diehards. Those 10 clans are the ones that form the Tafaria taxonomy, all right?
The Tafaria taxonomy.
Yeah. And as you can see, they are very easy to understand, all right? They are not those Latin names and all that. And all of us connect with the idea of a clan and so forth. So the idea is when you come into this African-shaped hut, you then find 10 leaders of those 10 clans. And you sit down, and then you scan the QR code from each one of them, and then each of the clans will tell you more about their members, all right? Because at each clan there are more than 10, 15, or even more members that belong
I like that,
to that particular
symbolism.
clan. Yeah.
A visit to Tafaria requires time, as there is so much to see and do. This farm does more than supply fresh vegetables and meats to the hotel. It also teaches visitors valuable lessons on sustainable agriculture. For example, the sheep stables are positioned near the farm to provide manure for fertilization, while the chicken coop is centrally located to allow chickens to feed on weeds and unwanted vegetables, creating a self-sustaining cycle. Tafaria is magical, both a retreat away from the hustle of urban life and a center that enriches the mind. It is a place where visitors can focus, reflect, and immerse themselves in the arts while enjoying various leisure activities to stay engaged. I left Tafaria Castle feeling delighted, inspired, and enriched. Its impact on this rural neighborhood, its innovative use of arts, and its ability to inspire transformation make it a must-visit destination. It was a time well spent with George Tafaria Waititu, a man whose professional life was spent as a researcher mainstreaming data for decision-making across Africa while leading the Stedman Group. He was later the brainchild behind the establishment of a Kenyan digital marketplace to provide local content, products and services aggregation, distribution, promotion and monetization through the famous brand Viusasa. Today, he finds fulfillment in the realization of his childhood dream, transforming his rural village through Tafaria Castle and Center for the Arts. And this is his parting shot.
Do not delegate your dreams. Okay? That's very, very important. Second, pursue your dreams with brutal consistency without conforming socially.